In today's episode, we are going to deal with the most popular Danish company form. Stay with us and find out why so many people choose this company form.
Welcome to the Business Lessons in Denmark podcast. Our podcast gives the answers to your business related questions that have not been answered yet or things that haven't even crossed your mind. My name is Edina Bohos and I'm here with my colleague Katalin Balog. We are owners of Cool Accounts APS, a Danish accounting office.
Well, Edina, how is it going? Did the wedding dress business live up to your expectations?
Well, I had to realize that going into business with my mother-in-law was not the best idea ever.
Okay.
So I had to give it up very quickly.
Oh, I'm so sorry. What happened?
Her ideas didn't match with my ideas, and finally, I sold my part to my father-in-law. He has more experience to say yes to his wife, but do the opposite without her noticing.
All right. But you are not a person who gives up very easily, as I know you. What are you going to do now?
I was thinking of returning to cooking again and opening a Hungarian restaurant in Copenhagen.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Well, there have been several Hungarian restaurants in Copenhagen over the past years, but they have closed, all of them, even though they were quite popular. So you could probably feel a void with this idea. Nice. However, a restaurant requires a larger investment, and there is also quite some risk involved.
Yeah, I know, and I'm aware that there is a risk with this, and that's why I have made a business plan.
Ah, good.
Yes.
Excellent.
So, but I know it doesn't guarantee anything. I have to invest a lot of money in finding and renting a place and buying the equipment, furniture, and other. There will be bills for heating, water. The waiters will have to be paid, and so on. So if we don't have enough guests and enough income, it will mean that I lose money on it.
Yeah. Well, you are lucky because there is a company form in Denmark that is suitable for exactly these situations. The disadvantage of the previously presented company forms was that you were responsible with your personal assets. But with this company form, you are only liable to the invested capital that you have put into the company. So even if things go wrong, they can't go completely wrong.
Wow, it sounds interesting. So please continue.
Yeah, this company form is called APS, which is an abbreviation of Empart Cellscape. Empart means part or share, and Cellscape means company or business. So it is a business in which the owner or owners have a share.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I have seen this name APS many times in company names on flyers, newspapers, bills.
Yeah, it is a very common company form in Denmark. So that's why you can see it many times in many places.
Yes, and you mentioned that a person is liable up to the invested capital. How much is the start capital that must be invested?
Minimum 40,000 Danish crowns or something equivalent to this amount, which can be a machine, a car, a real estate, or something else. The opening is not free either. There is a registration fee, which is currently 670 crowns. And here it is also mandatory to prepare a written founding document and the articles of association.
Okay, and can you open this company for me or should I contact a lawyer?
Actually, I can make the founding document and the articles of association for you, but the 40,000 crowns have to be deposited. And it can either be deposited at a lawyer or at a bank. And Danish banks are not always so easy to dance with. So it might be easier for you to turn to a lawyer and deposit the money with him and or her, and then the lawyer can also do the other things for you, open the company and prepare all the written documents. It must be, probably it's easier for you.
Okay. I can see that starting this company is not that cheap because of the start capital and the lawyer's fees.
Yeah, but that is the price for having a limited liability. I would like to add, though, that this limited liability does not mean that you are absolutely not liable if the APS accumulates debts or commits something illegal.
Okay, I understand, and of course, I will do my best. However, this limited liability still gives me a sense of security if something goes wrong for any reasons.
Yeah, because anything can happen in business. If you think of the many restaurants that went bankrupt during COVID a few years ago, even restaurants that have been operating successfully for many years. So it's really sad. So in business, it's not always the owner's fault if something goes wrong. So that's why it's a good thing to have this possibility. So that with the APS, the company's finances and your personal finances are separated. So it's two different things. So if things go wrong and the company's finances collapse, then you don't also lose your house and everything you own.
Okay, good news finally. I think I will definitely need an accountant to do the administration for such a company.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it depends a little bit how complex your company is, how many transactions you have, how many employees, and so on. Maybe you can do some of the things yourself, but it is probably best to leave the annual financial report to a professional.
Oh, annual financial report. It's new. What is that?
Yeah, it's a detailed statement of the company's income and expenses, the profit or loss, also the assets, debts, and claims, and many other things. It gives an extremely good picture of the company's success and financial situation. It must be made public, so the company's financial situation is not hidden here.
Okay, this is interesting. So, but why do I have to publish my company's financial situation? Why should my neighbor know how my company is doing?
Yeah, it's not for your neighbor.
Okay.
But because your creditors and potential business partners, they take on a greater risk due to the limited liability you have. So they must have an opportunity to orient themselves, to see how your company is doing before they start a cooperation with you or before they give you credit.
Okay, I completely understand. And of course, I would also prefer to lend money to someone who I know will be able to pay it back.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and you mentioned that the company finances and the private finances are two different things. So, how can I take out money from this company? I like cooking, but the purpose of running this Hungarian restaurant would still be that it brings me some money after all.
Yes, of course. You can withdraw money from the APS in two ways, either as salary or in the form of dividends. With this type of company, you are an employee yourself in the company, even though you are the owner also. So you will pay yourself a salary. And then when the year is over and if you made profit, then you can take some dividends out.
Okay, and how will the profit be taxed? Do I pay taxes or does the company pay taxes on the profit?
The company pays taxes on the profit, and this is called corporate tax. You will also pay tax on your salary. This would be personal income tax. And as I said, the owner can take out dividends, and on that, you pay dividend tax.
Okay, so the company pays corporate tax.
Yeah.
I pay personal income tax,
Yeah.
like any other employee.
Yeah.
And if I take dividends, then dividend tax.
Yeah.
And what is the rate of these taxes?
Corporate tax is 22%. And the dividend tax depends on how much dividend you take out. Below a certain amount is 27%, and above that amount is 42%.
Okay, and we haven't talked about what happens if I want to close the restaurant and terminate the company because I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, there is also a big difference here between a sole proprietorship and an APS. A sole proprietorship is relatively easy to close. Maybe a few clicks you need, but it's not a big deal. On the other hand, closing an APS is not that simple. It is usually a longer process that can take months. So, yeah. On the other hand, maybe if you don't want to close down the company, you can sell your part or your share of the APS, while the sole proprietorship is not possible to sell.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I can now see the advantage of APS because of the limited liability, but I'm wondering if it's not better also from a tax viewpoint.
No, unfortunately not. I will have to disappoint you on this. The advantage of the APS does not lie in the taxation, but as we discussed, in the limited liability. And it also has a bit more prestige because APSs are usually bigger companies than sole proprietorships.
Okay. Can I have an APS also when I already have a sole proprietorship?
Yeah, you can. You can easily have a sole proprietorship, maybe for sewing dresses, and you can have an APS for having a Hungarian restaurant.
Okay, that's good to know. And is it possible to convert from sole proprietorship or ES and APS?
Yes, it is. So you can also choose that path. That first you open a sole proprietorship, and when you have really boomed the business, then you change the company form into an APS. The only thing that there is a legal procedure for this, how to do it. And if you don't do it in the right way, then it can cause you a lot of tax payment. Maybe you will have to pay a lot of extra taxes. So you have to be very clever about this.
Okay, that sounds very interesting. Could we discuss this in more detail next time? Because we are running out of time now.
Yeah, of course. Probably there are some sole proprietors among our listeners who would be interested. So yeah, let's do that. Let's talk about this next time.
Great. I'm looking forward to it. See you then.
Yeah.
Today's episode was sponsored by Kulakon CPS. Kulakon CPS can help with starting your company with bookkeeping and tax matters. In addition, we also provide business and financial consulting. If you liked the show, then follow us and like our Facebook page. If you would like to contact us, you can do so via our website www.accounts.cool. We wish you a successful week.